Hey guys, today we are filming Barrett's 1-month baby update as well as some postpartum updates for me. So let's hop in and talk about this little guy right here and what's been going on in his first month. You ready to film with me? What are we gonna talk about? What's the first thing we want to talk about? Let's get our little piece of paper here. Let me tell you what the pediatrician says. The pediatrician says he is 9 pounds, 11.6 ounces, which is the 38th percentile, which right off the bat is just so totally weird to me because Calvin and Aaron were always giant. They were like the 80th, 90th percentile. This is my little munchkin here. So he's 21¼ inches long and 36.5 centimeters for his head. So he's my little guy. He's just little. I can't believe it. It's so totally weird to me. Okay, so as far as waking up at nighttime, he usually wakes up like twice, and if he's being good, he usually doesn't stay up, but I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe every third day at one of the feedings, he is just like wide awake for like another hour or two afterwards, which is very frustrating because I know that Calvin and Aaron, our big brothers, are gonna be up at, you know, 5:30 on the dot, 6 o'clock at the latest. So it's really frustrating if he's up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and he's like totally partying and having a good time until like 3:30. Like, that's not cool. So yeah, he has definitely the past couple of weeks, because I did do a 2-week update, and at like 2 weeks he was like really cool and like being a really good baby. But since that 2-week update up until now, the 1-month mark, he does have some nights where he's like just, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like just sitting up and staring at you for a little while in the middle of the night. But usually he doesn't wake up too much. He usually wakes up, you know, around like midnight-ish sometime, and then again like, you know, 3 or 4 or something. So he can give me some good stretches sometime. Sometimes he can do like, you know, 4 hours or something, which is really nice. So let's talk a little bit about nursing. This guy loves his boobies, of course. I did get a plugged duct around 2 weeks, which was sucky, but it was only like half of a day and it was gone really quickly. And actually this time around with Barret, I feel like my milk has regulated more quickly than it did with my 2 previous boys, but I'm not pumping this time. This is my first baby where I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have to worry about, you know, having a freezer stash of milk for when I go back to work, because I don't have to go back to work. So I haven't been pumping like crazy, and I feel like that's allowed my milk to naturally regulate really well. I do use my little, it's a Lancino brand, but it's like a Haka pump thing, and then I do have a little handheld like manual, like it's not manual, it's battery powered, but it's just like a single pump, and I do use those. I did use those occasionally, but the past couple weeks I haven't used them very often. It's only like if I'm feeling like, oh, my one boobie's like really kind of engorged, I will use it just to kind of, you know, feel more comfortable. But I'm not doing any pumping on a regular basis, like I'm preparing to go back to work or anything. So I feel like that's allowed my milk to naturally regulate and my boobies feel fine, and it's really nice just like not having really engorged full boobies all the time. Like, that's totally how I felt with my first 2 boys. Now I do have kind of like an intense letdown sometimes. It's usually he doesn't like choke on it, but he will just like quickly pull away and then just get like sprayed in the face with it. And yeah, it feels more intense too. Like I can feel like the achiness in my boobs a lot more than I did with my first 2 sons. Just kind of a weird, you know, it's so weird, the little things that can be different with each baby. Okay, so around like 3 weeks old, he started outgrowing the newborn clothes. He's in 0 to 3 months right now, so that's crazy. It's just another weird difference because my 2 previous boys, my 2 older boys were in newborn clothes like only like at the hospital. Like the first few days of their life did they wear newborn clothes, and he lasted a whole 3 weeks in them. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is like, okay, so he's, you know, I don't know if you want to call him like a COVID baby. He was born while everything is still going on. And I kind of thought that maybe I would be a little more paranoid about like germs and stuff with him, but I haven't felt that way. Me and him went to Target just the other day, and I didn't feel like, you know, paranoid about being around other people or anything. It's really weird because like with my second son, Aaron, my last baby, I felt like that. Like we once went to like Lowe's or something with my husband and everybody, and I just like didn't want him to even be inside the store. Like I don't remember how old he was. He was still little, but I like was super paranoid about just being out in public with him, and I haven't felt like that at all with Barret. And I really thought that I would have, just because of, you know, the world situation in this past year. So he's actually been really good about holding his little head up. He's totally cool about that for the most part. And then like laying on his belly for tummy time. He can sometimes, you know, totally turn, like if you lay on one side of him and make him like turn his head all the way over to see you and like go all the way over back the other way. So he's been really good. I feel like he's got like a super strong little baby neck. He's been so good about just like holding his head up and moving his head around when we lay on the floor for tummy time. He even accidentally rolled himself over. He was laying on his belly and he pushed himself up onto his arms so high that he rolled himself over at just like 2 or 3 weeks old. It was so crazy. So let's talk a little bit about my recovery. My C-section recovery this time has not been fun. It's been the worst recovery of all 3 of my boys. I've had C-sections with all of them. And with Calvin and Aaron, my 2 older boys, I had a C-section after going through labor, being induced, going through labor, pushing for a couple of hours, and then I had a C-section. And I really thought that this time, as like a planned C-section, was gonna be a breeze to recover from, but it has not been. So I've had to go back to the doctor twice to check on my incision. Like, aside from the regular check at like 1 week, I had to go back again and then again after that because my incision was just not looking good. It was just kind of not healing really well in the middle part of it, which was super annoying because when the edges like started, like, okay, so if the C-section's like this big and this is good and this is good, but the middle part is just not healing quite right, it made me so mad because like the outer parts looked so good, and I'm like, man, if that middle was just being good, everything would be so good right now. But because the middle was not, you know, feeling good and not looking great, it just made me feel miserable, and you know, just that constant worry about like, oh, is this like, what's the deal? Like, is it gonna get better or what? So they did have me on antibiotics for a week and everything cleared up fine. It's looking really good right now. I go back next week for my like 6-week checkup or whatever, but to me it feels okay and it looks pretty good too. So it looks like it's like actually pretty much healed by now, but it just hasn't been fun having to go to the stupid doctor, you know, having to, is my husband gonna stay home with the kids, or can my mom watch the kids? And then like one day my sister even came over and watched them because I got like a really quick appointment, like just for that day. I was like, you know, kind of worried about it. I wanted to get into the office a little bit quickly just so, you know, when you've got like a boo-boo, not just a boo-boo, but like a, you know, surgery boo-boo that's not healing quite right, you want to kind of get in there quickly. So I felt like I started actually finally starting to feel better at 4 weeks, which is such a long time to just not be feeling good, you know, to still be recovering from the surgery. And then by like 5 weeks, which I mean is just a few days ago, I feel like we're really good. Like I feel like pretty, not like normal, but pretty good right now at like the 5-week mark. Dude, my appetite has been gigantic lately. I have been snacking on everything. I feel like I said at my 2-week update that like, or his 2-week update, our 2-week update, I feel like I said that I didn't feel like my appetite was really that big. It was kind of very average or normal, even maybe less than normal. But now, at the 1 month mark, I snack like crazy. Sometimes I do forget to eat breakfast, like even just this morning, I totally forgot to eat breakfast, but I totally make up for it the rest of the day because I will snack constantly all day long, and I really need to work on healthy snacks. I've just been like, you know, super, I need carbs all the time, like that's how I feel all the time. And so yeah, I definitely have been eating like crazy. And I did, last time I weighed myself, I was 5 pounds from my 5 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight with baby Barret, which is kind of exciting. But like I said, I've been like eating like crazy, so who knows how long it's gonna be before I'm actually down to pre-pregnancy weight for him. So yeah, along with that, I tried on some of my big size shorts because all my babies have been spring babies, and so I do have like a, you know, larger shorts collection that I can wear for, you know, the immediate postpartum days. I tried on my big pair of shorts and they didn't even fit, and so I was not happy about that. So we went to Target. Like I said, he went to Target with me. We went to Target and we picked out some shorts, and The dressing rooms are still not open, and so like it was impossible trying to figure out what size I needed. So I got a few different sizes, brought them home, didn't like the fit of any of them, so I ordered some online in bigger sizes, and we'll see when they show up if they're any better. So that's so frustrating, you know, when you have no idea what size. I have no idea what size I am or what's gonna work, and not having the fitting rooms, the changing rooms to try clothes on in, that's not cool, man. It's very, very hard. Okay, so I feel like this video was all over the place, but I think we're gonna get going. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing little Barret. I know it will be nice to look back at this video and see my cute little 1-month-old baby. He's so tiny. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and we will talk to you next time. You wanna say bye? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.